everybody. It's been a while since you've all seen me. I've been here. I've been self-quarantining since I'm old, and with this virus thing going around, I really don't need to be taking chances because when this is all over, I'd like to be there to help and to promote and to help all of you guys grow, those that I can. And my purpose for talking today is I'm not going to show anybody any real cool techniques or anything like that, but what I want to talk about is our martial arts heritage. And by that I mean I've been doing this for a long time, and you hear me say in class that we are all a family. And I'm sure you've all heard Mr. Brand say the same thing. We're all family. Well, what does that mean? That means that you are gaining knowledge from our years of experience. So you are a part of us. We give a piece of us to you. Well, by the same token, as we began training a long time ago, my instructor, my original instructor, he imparted himself to me. So we formed a brotherhood, a bond, a family unit, so to speak. The same thing with Mr. Brand. I had a part of that. He trained with Grandmaster Russell. He imparted himself into Mr. Brand. They formed that same brotherhood bond. So for sake of conversation, I'm just going to call it a brotherhood. No offense to any of the female practitioners that we have. We're all family in that respect. And with that being said, my instructor's instructor and Grandmaster Russell's instructors over the years, it goes from there on. We have this bond with our martial arts lineage, our heritage, the people that came before us, so that us as instructors, as we pass this down to you, we rejoice in your triumphs. We feel heartache and sadness in your defeats, but we are all a part of the same heritage. So what we need to do as a group, we need to realize that as you progress through your martial arts training, you are more and more a part of that heritage. And it's a mindset. It's difficult to get around. I've been doing this over 30 years, and so has Mr. Brand. My instructor, he'd been doing it since, I think I saw him the other day mention he started training, I think it was 1962. And I'm not sure when Grandmaster Russell started training, but it was probably quite some time ago along those lines. And their instructors, and their instructors before them, and their instructors before them. It's a long line of things. You could look at our friend Dimitri, Jade Dragon Kung Fu, as a Shaolin monk. His lineage goes back hundreds of years. He can trace that. He feels a part of that family. So what I want to be, and the reason I'm touching on this is there were events this last week that really hit home with me personally, and as a member of this martial arts heritage, this brotherhood, if you will, it actually impacts all of us. So, with that being said, what happened this last week, a young man that I started training with when he was 14, I was a few years older than him. We started training under the same instructor. Well, in this area off of my instructor, there were originally 3 black belts that he trained in this area, and I don't know if there were ever any others. There was just the 3 of us. Well, My friend Daniel, who died this last week, contracted cancer. He fought a brave fight. I hadn't seen him a lot in the last number of years, but I went and saw him in the hospital here a couple weeks ago, and it was like we never missed a beat because we have that brotherhood. It really touched me deeply to express this brotherhood that everybody needs to feel, because the physical part of martial arts is a very important part of it, doing the techniques properly, learning what you can, being physically fit, being mentally strong. But also another thing that helps in your martial arts growth is knowing your heritage, being a part of that brotherhood. So I just wanted to pass this along, that Daniel was a very close friend of mine, and I'm going to have Susan put a picture up on this video of Daniel's and mine's first karate school together. This was mid to late 80s. And yes, I had different color hair. I was a little skinnier and much younger, trust me on that. My skills as an old man have started to deteriorate. I can't do the things I want to do anymore. But yet I can try and impart that on to you younger students to help build you in this martial arts heritage, because the more of the knowledge that I have, no matter where it came from, grows the heritage, and it passes from this generation to the next generation, and some of the students that I help train or train now pass to the next generation, and that's how the lineage grows and continues. So without making this a big long video, I just wanted to touch on that, and I hope it gets you to thinking about where your martial arts comes from. The training changes over the years from instructor to instructor. My original instructor did things differently than him because physically they're different people. And that's why we're always telling you, make it your own. Learn the basic techniques, but then learn and make the martial art your own, what works for you. And by the same token, my instructor, who is kind of a smaller, faster man, his techniques didn't necessarily work for me because I'm a big guy. I move fairly quick, but not like him. And then by the same token, the way I do things, the next student physically is completely different. Daniel and I were night and day difference. He was a smaller man. He was a Hispanic young man, fast as lightning. And we could not do things the same way because of our physical abilities. But we made it work for us. So as you make these things work for you and you continue to grow and pass them along, do not be so judgmental of the person that you're teaching because they don't do it exactly like you do. Show them the technique properly. Make sure they can do the technique properly, but then give them the rein to make it their own. As an instructor, I am proud to be associated with each and every one of you. I made mention before about your triumphs and your defeats and things like that. I am proud to be a part of that from each and every one of you. So it is a pleasure to me to pass this heritage to you. And I hope and I know most quality instructors that I know feel the same way. So in ending, I'm just going to say that my brother Daniel has gone to a better place. And I miss him dearly already. And I would like to thank you all for your time.